Konishiki akebo no takano hana hakuho musashi maru Kotoshikiku Chiyo no Fuji Kita no Mi Asashoru Kaio Sumo Wrestlers all Young Bun, last 10 years of sumo. Alright, so where we left off, I said something about 2006 and then I didn't get to 2007. So this is 2007 to 2016. Here we go. January 2007, Asa Shobu wins his 4th straight Yusho and his 20th overall, becoming the 5th Rikishi to do that. So anyway, Hakuho and Asashoru came into the final day of the Osaka Basho tied. Hakuho beats Asashoru by sidestepping to win his 2nd ever Basho. Amazing. Toshitsuma has a lot of headaches and had to pull out. Toshitsuma retires just days before the main Basho because he had a cerebral infarction and it would be dangerous to be a Yokozuna. To still sumo. So Toshitsuma had to retire. The Sumo Association suspends a Makashira for 1 tournament. Kyoto Tenho, 1 tournament for driving. Because wrestlers are actually forbidden from driving. I guess because of their weight and all that. Hakuho wins his 2nd straight title, Senso Yusho, and you know what that means. He wins a trip to the Yokozuna promotion. So Hakuho has been a Yokozuna since 2007. May 2007, in fact. He's the 69th Grand Champion in sumo history, and the 3rd youngest after Kitano Nomi and Taiho. Well, the apprentice Toki Taisan, who I mentioned about last year's thing, Sumo Controversies, dies after the press session, and of course that was the incident that changed sumo forever. Asashoru wins his 21st Basho with a 14-1 record, and Koto Misuki for a record 22nd time as a 2nd wake in Basho was run up at 13-2 and becomes Oseki. Amazing. Chiyo Taikai breaks the record for most Oseki tournaments. Tournaments as Oseki with 51, breaking Takano Hano the first mark in 1981, and of course Takano Hano the first died the previous year. Koto Misuku is the oldest man at age 31 to reach sumo's 2nd highest rank as an Oseki since the modern 6 tournaments a year started in 1958. Amazing. Asashoru excused himself from the regional tour because he had an eligible injury. Unfortunately, he got caught the next day in a charity soccer match in Mongolia. And of course, Asashoru really got himself stuck in. Anyway, so Asashoru receives another examination of his elbow. And the Mongolian government apologized because they requested Asashoru's participation in the charity event. And in soccer, you don't really need your elbows. Unfortunately, Asashoru got booted for the last 2 Basho of 2007. So anyway, he's ordered to restrict his movements to his home, stable, and the hospital. And then Takasako, his stable master, on August 7th, 6 days after Asashoru had to be booted for 2 tournaments, says that a psychiatric assessment says that he had acute stress disorder. But the head of sumo of the Sumo Association's clinic says he's either hospitalized or go back to Mongolia. So anyway, Asashoryu goes to Mongolia for treatment. Well, obviously he's gone for 2 basho. It's not going to be like he's booted for the rest of sumo forever. Hakuo, even though he lost to Toyoshima and Ama, actually ended up winning his first basho as a yokozuna at 13-2, beating Kyoto Tenho. Takano Waka retires. And then police in Nagoya were building a criminal case over the Toki Taison death in June. And they said 3 wrestlers were alleged to have struck the boy with an aluminum bat and kicked him after a training session as punishment for running away from the stable the day before. And the head coach of that stable, when Toki Taison passed away, is dismissed from the Sumo Association for his part in that death. Kitano Nomi cuts his own pay in half and the pay of the directors by 30% for the next 6 months. Wow, that's amazing. Anyway, in November, Hakuho won the championship in Kyushu. So that's a big win for him. 46-year-old Ichinoya, who was in Joridan, actually retires. And also retiring is Kukul Ten-san, one of the first Mongolians to join sumo in 1982. Also, Shobu comes back to Japan November 30th and apologizes for his actions. So, anyway. Sumo's 53rd yokozuna, Koto Sakura, passes away of diabetes in 2007. 2008, Asashoryu, after his suspension, loses to Hakuo on the final day of competition, and Hakuo wins his 6th basho. Tochiyo Sumo's retirement ceremony happens in February of 2008, and the trainee death of Toki Taison, the 3 wrestlers and a couple of other people were arrested. So, anyway. Yeah. Asashoryu defeats Hakuo on the final day of the March basho to get his revenge for Hakuo beating him. Kotoshu actually ends up winning the May basho, becoming the first European to win a basho. Amazing. He was 3 ahead of Asashoryu and Hakuho. Asashoryu and Hakuho were pushing and glaring at each other after their match on the final day of competition, and the Sumo Association gave him a reprimand. Los Angeles gets an exhibition sumo tournament. I did not know that. Asashoryu, as head of the Wrestlers Union, decides to call on July 2nd for all salaried Rikishi to get a pay raise for 10%, which would be the first pay raise since 2001, or 7 years, to compensate for the rising cost of fuel and food. Sumo Association doesn't budge. Hakuo wins with a Sensor Yusho at 15-0 for the July Basho. Kotoshu almost becomes a yokozuna, but he's only a 9-6. And in August of 2008, Magashira from Russia, Waka Noho, gets arrested for cannabis. Well, he's gone, and he gets dismissed 3 days later. So anyway, it was amazing. Drug tests are carried out on all wrestlers, and the 2 other Russian wrestlers, Roho and Hakuro-san, get arrested for cannabis, which of course means they're gone for good. Kitano Nomi, who was head of the Sumo Association, resigned as chairman. And Waka Noho actually gets out of jail. Wakanoho actually had a lawsuit against the Civil Association. There's a new rule going around that judges are instructed to call back any wrestlers who do not perform the tachiai properly. And a lot of people are angry. Hakuho does win the September Basho anyway. And Asashoru withdrew on day 10, and everyone thought he was going to be retiring. So, anyway. Right. Let's see here. The three people in the Toki Taison incident in October of 2008. The trial begins. Anyway. In Fukuoka, Hakuho wins his third straight title, beating Ama in a playoff. And Ama becomes an Osaki. And do you know what's weird? Ama was actually the name of Haruma Fuji. So when he became an Osaki, Ama changed it to Haruma Fuji. I did not know that. I didn't know Haruma Fuji fought under a different name. Anyway, the three stable wrestlers in that Toki death were given suspended sentences of 3 years and never allowed to come back to sumo again. 2009, Asashoru came back after his 3 injury-plagued tournaments to beat Haku on the playoff on the final day to get his 23rd title and 4th on the list. Anyway, a former wrestler gets arrested for cannabis possession, and the 4th person to get a drug scandal. And of course, obviously, he would have been out. But, of course, there was trouble. So, anyway, Hakuo wins the one-day Osumo tournament for 3 million yen. The head of the Toki stable, Juichi Yamamoto, goes on trial and denies ordering 3 wrestlers to beat Takashi Saito. The Bonsuke is released. Asashoru is east Yokozuna, Hakuo's west. I don't know how that's different. Kitano Nomi gets and the Civil Association gets 15.4 million yen after the court case about Kodansha. So anyway, and another ruling by the court awards Asashoru and many wrestlers 42 million yen for the article in the Shuken Gendai, which was not true. Hakuo goes on to win the Haru Basho with a central usual 15-0 record. Chiyo Taikai is 2-13. The worst score ever recorded by Osaki fighting the full 15 days. Surprised he was still around. I thought he was gone. So anyway, a lot of drug tests going on. And in April of 2009, it was released that no wrestlers would be making their Makunuchi or Jurial debuts for the first time since 2003. Yikes. So anyway. Hakuo had a 33 belt streak in regulation matches brought down by Kotoshu. Haruma Fuji defeats Hakuho to win top division and became the 8th foreigner to win. Chiyo Taikai, who was struggling with diabetes and dropped to 144 kilograms of weight, stays alive at Osaki, 8-7. Junichi Yamamoto gets 6 years in prison sentence for the Toki hitting. So Yamamoto, I guess, came out. So anyway. In July, Hakuo wins on the last day of the Nagoya Basho to get his 11th Busho at 14-1. Kotoshu is 13-2. Dejima retires. Same time. anyway, September Basho, Asashuru lost to Hakuho, but Asashuru does win the playoff for his 24th title, tying him with Kito Nomi for third place on the all-time list. So anyway, Kaio surpasses Oshio's 964 career wins to move into second all-time. Amazing. So anyway, a lot of drug tests, blah blah blah. The November Basho, Hakuo gets a Central Yusho, 15-0, and wins his third title of the year. He breaks Asashoru's record of most wins in a calendar year with 86 out of 90. The great Hakuo. Oh boy. Amazing. This is amazing. On to 2010. Now, oh dear, I'm running out of time again. Kaio gets the record for most Makuuchi division wins January 2010 by beating Chio Taikai, breaking Shinoda Fuji's 1991 record. Chio Taikai decides to retire. Asashori wins his 25th Yusho, making him now third, behind Taiyo and Shinoda Fuji in belts. Asashori reportedly punched one of his managers during a drunken night out. That was terrible. The weekly magazine Shukan Shinsho says that the man allegedly assaulted Asashori was an acquaintance in charge of a dance club. Asashori is told he has to explain himself. So anyway, Takanohana II, well, the former Yokozuna, Takanohana, is now head of board of directors. Asashori decides to retire following a meeting with the Sumo Association. I guess they probably would have forced him to quit. So Asashori ends up third, 25. Good grief, he probably would have had 30 if he stayed out of trouble. Meanwhile, in the March Basho, Hakuo gets his 13th Basho with his 5th Central Yusho, or perfect record, 15-0. Amazing. In May, Hakuo wins number 14 and his second straight Central Yusho. He has a 32 match winning streak after that tournament. And Noseki is accused by a Japanese paper for betting on professional baseball. And then the Sumo Association survey says that there have been 65 people in the sumo world engaged in some form of gambling for 5 years, including golf and mahjong and baseball. Kotomisuki admitted to betting on baseball is gone. So anyway, this is just terrible. One of the worst crimes ever because of the gambling. The Sumo Association thinks that they were so sure about the Nagoya Basho. They said in July 2010 they will allow it. Unfortunately, they would have to. Unfortunately, NHK says they will not broadcast any part of the Nagoya Basho at all. Koto Misuki and Otake are dismissed and given life bans. Takanohana wants to resign from the board, but not accepted. Anyway, a lot of mass apologies for the scandal happened. The Mansuke is released, and the first time in 64 years that publication was delayed. So anyway, NHK says it'll show nightly highlights. So anyway, it's the first time since live TV broadcast in 1953 that NHK would not show any Basho live. So this was just amazing. So anyway, and then they said first time since 1926 the Emperor's Cup will now be awarded to the champion. Kind of weird. Hakuo gets his 15th Basho, but he doesn't get the trophy. Amazing. So that's it for now. There'll be more stuff, I guess, in in the near future. Sayonara.